Welcome back to another exciting Jesse Rucinski show. I'm obviously Jesse. Got that fact by now. I just want to start out wishing and hope everyone had as good of a weekend as I did. I had a good couple days there, a good stretch. Haven't had one of those in a long time. Got to see people, got to hang out, bike rides, going out in public, workouts, and just general hanging out. It was actually very, very like peaceful and pleasant. The dogs got enough love to like kill them. They were killed with kindness. It was good. So I hope everyone else got to go out and enjoy it and do something. Hell, even Crystal and Dave love them dearly. They got to go out and do some stuff. They weren't bogged down and bugged by me, which had to make Dave super stoked. And never mind that you ran into a crazy narcissist that used to be friends with you. Just remember, if her and her friends are glaring at you and talking trash when they walk by, screw it. You keep having fun because apparently they haven't gotten you. Narcissistic people will never get better, and the toxicity apparently never goes away. So screw them. That's a public service announcement for everybody. The narcissist, the truly toxic one, is the one that's still talking trash well over a year later and can't move on with their life. Like that. That is the true narcissist right there at heart. So don't let them bog you down because they're not worth it. Now let's move into some stupid stuff. Coming from, first let's start with Chris Cuomo because we know I love the guy. I think he's an idiot, and he keeps doing stuff and saying stuff to make me look like a genius. But here we go. This most recent time there was white people's kids need to start getting killed for police reform to happen. Hey, jackass. One, there's probably a reason why CNN's ratings are down overall by like over 50%. That might be part of it. But here we go. Like, let's just go over this again. For those of us that weren't paying attention last week, those of you, or if you simply forgot, I'm here for you. I am the man to help you guys get these numbers. White people shot to death by police. 2019 were 370. Black 235, Hispanic 158, other meaning Asians and stuff like that 39, and unknown 202. 2020. Blacks jumped up 6 to 241. Hispanic jumped 11 to 169. Others plummeted by 11. And unknown also went from 202 down to 126, which is 76. Lower, while whites jumped 87. If you take just the Black, Hispanic, and others, Asians and all that, their numbers technically only went up by 6 total, while whites jumped 87. Your argument is moot because you don't have an argument at all. You just have you're just like to regurgitate bile. Your mouth is like a garbage chute. And it's just never ending. The flow is continuous. You have verbal diarrhea. You have propaganda diarrhea. You just can't help yourself. None of them can, which is why, they're thankfully, hopefully their numbers really are tanking. That would make me feel very, very happy. Them, the Stelters of the world, Rachel Maddows, the Views, like all these people that just keep spewing bile. Like, I hope that that's really, really, really true. And then we can get on to something like, as they keep talking about like all this, like and all these crimes. Like they were talking all like AOC, I'm pretty sure came out about, the shooting of the 13-year-old in Chicago. Of course, that, she had to go and stick her nose in there. Said prosecution and all that was lying. Of course, she had to throw her nose in there. But here's the real question. Here's the real breakdown of society for all of this. And it comes down to the person that got shot in, Minneapolis Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, during a traffic stop, all that. But like, let's stay with this thing in Chicago. Here's the real question. We're going after the cop for this. Where's the community or the parents or anything? I don't know. 13-year-old out with a 21-year-old. Shots fired reported at like 2:38 in the morning, running from the cops with a gun. You saw it in the body cam footage in his hand. But what the hell was he doing out at 2:38 with a 21-year-old with a fully loaded gun shooting them in the first place? Like, I'm sorry. That's a complete and utter cluster of a breakdown that happened well before the cop got anywhere near involved. You have a 13-year-old out doing that. I might have been out running around doing some dumb stuff then. When they fully loaded weapons around, there was just normally walking of dogs, headphones or just walking in general, listening to music. Like I wasn't out there committing crimes and shooting guns off and being a jackaloon. Douche rocket, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Like, sorry, this fell apart well before we got anywhere near the cops showing up. Like, what the hell is your 13-year-old out there doing with fully loaded weapons running the streets? They didn't get that legally because idiots and criminals, they do stuff like that. And I'm not even trying to get into a gun debate, but if you're going to go after the cop and there's that and the other, what the hell is he out fully loaded weapon at all for any of this to even come close to happening? Well, you know, in Chicago, which has been run by a certain party for a very long time, and stuff like this happens all the time. Except now, recently, the new thing is just to politicize every single time it happens. Never mind, the breakdown and like everything to even get us to a situation where a 13-year-old is out at 2:38 in the morning, shots fired, reported with a gun. I mean, look how many shootings there are in Chicago. Well, like 40 people get shot every weekend. Sometimes more. I mean, like 38 was a good number that I saw. I think that was last weekend, not this past one, the one before. Like 38. Like that was a good number. Like it happens all the time. No one ever seems to talk about that. It's been happening for years. But no, we have to talk about these incidents right here. Like it fits the narrative: white cop, black kid. Like Chicago has been a dumpster fire for years and years, and I'm just really getting over hearing all this stupid stuff. Like here we go. Chicago McDonald's. Chicago dad was seriously injured, and his 7-year-old daughter was killed by gunshots while they were sitting in a McDonald's drive-through on Sunday. And guess what? That's just a normal day in Chicago. Those things go on and on, but you never hear anyone talking about that. Now they have to fit their narrative. You know, everyone's lying. It's racism. Like, no, dumb stuff happens all the time. How people like start going after the actual problem, just criminality. Poor education system, poor employment rates, you know, all these core things that just lead to, you know, really, really bad situations like that in Chicago, where this has been happening all the time for years. You know, I get called a crazy person for, you know, listing any of that, talking about it at all. Whenever my friends, what does that have to do with anything? Like, because this has been going on for forever. It's just stuff that you guys like only news, like all of them, you know, all the Fox News. Yeah, for Fox News. Like, believe it or not, none of these stories come from Fox News. Most of the stuff you guys get from me, I mean, Statista, FBI. Like, I go and find actual like sources that aren't biased one way or the other. I mean, they might be slightly, but some of them, but they're not nearly as bad as the left is with their mainstream media. Yeah, and all like Fox News, like everyone has their narrative to push back against other people's narratives. It's what they do. There are some that are out there that don't do that. And I just go off pure stats. And, you know, I mean, like this happens all the time. And they keep talking about, you know, all these mass shootings. Like I went through, like, I think there was 8 under George Bush, roughly. And that was a number. You know, I saw a bunch of different numbers no matter where I looked. So, but 37 under Obama, 35 under Trump so far. Four have been recorded. Like, never mind the ones that happens in Chicago all the time. Like, you know, those aren't mass shootings. If we kept track of those, holy Jesus, that number be obnoxious. But like, and my problem with the mainstream media is, wasn't it all Trump collusion, Trump and Stormy Daniels, Trump did this, Trump did that. For 4 years, you never heard anything about mass shootings except for what, Las Vegas under him. It's amazing how since, you know, the Democrats got in charge of everything, and, you know, of course, obviously going for gun control, that it's been nonstop the whole time, continuously. Like, that's all you hear about, that and Trump. Like, this has been going on for years and years, to include when the sleepy one was vice president. And, you know, hell, and look, Obama's hometown, Chicago. Look how terrible that place has been forever and ever. Funny, they never talk about any of this in the violence, because that's like where the real problem is. Stupid people doing stupid things. And a lot of mass shootings have happened since they keep adding more, you know, things to the gun-free zone list. It's amazing the percentage that happen in gun-free zones as well. But, you know, they just keep politicizing it, and they blame everyone else for doing it. Like, no, like, this is your continuous like storyline. You're politicizing your own, picking and choosing. That's how you know you're politicizing. You guys didn't mention like all the violence in Chicago ever. Mainstream media doesn't. It's happening every day. Doesn't get any coverage. It's amazing though. It's like, you know, 13-year-old black teen with a fully loaded gun, you know, with a gun on him. Sorry, you know, turns around really fast. Like, sorry, in that situation, you're going to get shot probably 10 out of 10 times, because we all know if you still have anything on you to shoot the cop with. Like this happens all like that one. Boom, they jump all over it. Didn't hear anything about the kid getting shot. The dad, the drive-through. Don't hear about the little kids that got shot during the summer. Don't hear about any of it. Remember, you didn't hear anything about like the riots that were happening in Chicago when they raised the bridges and all that. Like there's nothing. But here's this one. This one because it fits the narrative. It has nothing. Yeah, doesn't go on to all the crime that happens there, shootings at like a cyclic rate all the time, which really drives me up the wall to no end. That it continuously just gets blackballed until they need it. Like you guys might not like it, but it took me 45 seconds to find any of this. You type, then you go through all of them, find all the ones that aren't completely out of their mind, like CNN and all them. Find the good ones. And you can, sure, there's going to be different numbers, some of them for here, there, and everything, depending on how they consider it, whatever. But like, it doesn't take very long. Type it in, then a bunch of stuff pops up. You can look and find it all. I just don't understand how people like don't. Like they just keep listening to the narrative, and that's why we keep getting dumber and the situation keeps getting worse. So apparently you actually using your brain is too hard. I know. Terrible person for expecting other human beings to use their brain. That's why you have one. Another public service announcement brought to you by me. You have a brain. Use it. Outside of that, my crazy half tooth looking good today. Let's get into Maxine Waters because she's about out of her mind and she's just worthless all the time. She has been for forever. I mean, look back through years, all the stuff she said about Trump, like everything. Her rhetoric just keeps getting worse. And her showing up, in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota on Saturday evening, to talk to a bunch of anti-police, protesters and all that, saying they need to stay on the streets demanding justice until police reform happens. And then telling them to get more confrontational with the police. Like, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, Maxine, but all the looting and rioting and 30 plus deaths, over 2,000 law enforcement, military, both state, local, federal, like level police and all that injured last year. Some of them blinded forever with lasers, like people throwing Molotov cocktails, bricks, cans of soup, like everything at them. Looting, burning things to the ground. Like, how much more confrontational do you want them to get, jackass? Like, people just keep, it's okay. Well, like, don't worry, nothing will happen to her. Remember when they impeached Trump? When all hell broke loose, he got for inciting violence with his speech on the 6th and inciting an insurrection, even though they had turned down requests for help from people prior to his speech on the 6th when they knew it was coming, yet they still blamed it on him. Her, I think she was included as one of the crazy people. Say, we got to get rid of him the whole time. Wonder what she's going to get. I mean, hell, Kevin McCarthy, said he's going to have to do it if Nancy Pelosi won't. Guess what? Nancy Pelosi won't do a damn thing about it. But if you got him for inciting violence, so what the hell is that? Because to me, she said that, and then less than just within hours, there's a drive-by that injured 2 National Guard members in Minneapolis. Like she said, like if he got impeached for that when they knew it was coming, and it was all crock, then she better get something. Even though, guess what? She's Democrat. She's been there for forever. Probably nothing is going to come of it because that's what happens to those people when they run their mouth about stuff like that. And I do give her, opponent from November, Joe Collins, who is a Navy vet, from South LA. And, saying that, that she should be removed because, her rhetoric, again, is irresponsible and very dangerous because, I mean, what has she been saying about Trump and his people? Get in their face, confront them, push them back, tell them they don't belong here anymore. Like, no matter where they are, get up in the grill and just be a, just slime ball. Like, that's all they've been pushing. Forever. Like, especially her. But again, what do you think is going to come of it? I'm going to put a big fat nothing. Bet it. He got impeached for something they knew was coming, and they still went after it anyway. She's not even going to get a censure, which, again, should anyone be surprised by that? I'm not. I'm just over it, like altogether in general, but I mean, nothing's going to happen. Nothing ever happens. No matter what they say. It's okay. How many times did they use the word fight repeatedly over and over again? Like dozens of times in each speech about how we need to fight. And then they use that against Trump and the impeachment. Look, you said fight. Like, it's amazing how you took it out of context to use all those, but you could just have hour clips of, you got to fight. You get in their face and you fight and you keep fighting and we will keep fighting. Like you just keep the whole speech fight, 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 fight. Like you found his 6 times, took it out of context, made it look bad. Like this is what they'd be doing. There's real, no, it's your opinion. No, this is all based off of real facts and real things that actually happen. There's no interpretation. I take words as they're actually said because I watch actual speeches from all across the board. And I know it's actually said I don't listen to skewed clips that our friends at the mainstream media like to have. And it's really bad on the left. Like really, really bad. That's why the ratings are so down. They're so bad. No one actually trusts the media at all anymore, like in the country. Even like completely unbiased networks to put out polls that normally have their polls like on the thumb, or I mean, the support in the media and trust in them is gone. Faith and all that in our representatives in Congress and all that, like their approval rating is the worst ever. They're just going to keep arguing about stuff like this, but like her rhetoric and all that, like it better not go without saying, because if he got hit when they knew it was coming for early and they still did it anyway to him, even though it obviously wasn't his speech because they were planning it early, she better get something out of it, but maybe she won't. I'll prove my point. I'll prove everyone's point, and then people on the left will still just tell us that we're crazy conspiracy theorists, and I'm out of my mind. I am out of my mind because of stupid people. Stupid people make me out of my mind. But it is what it is, and we'll see how we, where we get from it, where it goes, what happens. But again, I appreciate you guys giving me a watch and a listen. Really does mean a lot more than you ever know. Good to know that I'm getting out there to somebody. Again, share it out. Comment, tell me what you think. Come on here and talk with me. I mean, you can do it like Justin is on the wrestling show, but I mean, videos are on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. The audio only. Again, that's on Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, and Google Podcasts. If you go follow along on all those, share the stuff out, get more people on there so we get more eyeballs, we can get more conversations and stuff happen. That's what we need right now in the world. Again, be kind to each other, be nice to each other, look some stuff up. Some research, hang out, and do good things for one another. But just stop spreading all the stupid that's getting thrown around. Like I said, it's not helping anything. No, it's everything's still getting worse. Like worse. Which means everything like isn't doing anything. And it's not getting better at all and just keeps getting incited. And it's not going to get us anywhere. But again, enjoy your day. I appreciate like the time you guys give me every day. Really does mean a lot. It helps get all this stuff off my chest. And so be kind to each other. Have a good rest of your day. Until tomorrow, my friends. Peace.